Hey guys, you're very early birds. I love it. So we're gonna give some people time to come into the meeting. You're welcome to introduce yourself in the chat and etc. Hey all, so someone has asked what the agenda is for the meeting. So we're just going to take you through what we think code is all about, the recruitment, our values, how you can prepare yourself for the application, what we think code's curriculum is, and application process. So we are going to start in about 10 minutes. We haven't started yet. We're going to start at 5 past. Okay, cool. Zubair, next slide. Hi guys, I'm Nicola and with me is Zubair. We are past students of We Think Code and we're here to just give you some insights. So can everyone hear me? Thumbs up. Any That's just what I need. Awesome. So with We Think Code, it is a way of shifting South Africa into the tech world. The youth must learn tech because it's such a big thing. It's ever changing, and with that are the th three key pillars of We Think Code is exclusive recruitment, rigorous training, and job placements. They're not going to lie about that training. It is quite hardcore. But yeah, it's something that I would love you guys all to join. Next slide. So with We Think Code, you do not need prior coding experience. You do not need a matric and you do not pay any fees. It is a free education of training to be a software engineer. What they do expect from you is your full-time engagement. You have to be on campus daily. You have to get 8 hours a day. You are there to work in a way to show your best side because when it comes to jobs and that, placement, sorry, they look at all of your records and etc. And you have to take ownership in your learning because there's no lecturers. It is peer-to-peer, meaning that students will have to teach other students or you'll have to teach someone else. It's a pretty different experience. I'm not gonna lie, but you don't need coding experience. They teach you everything. You don't need a trick and you don't pay anything, sorry. Yeah, it's a free education in South Africa. Next slide. Okay, so our values, grit. I keep going. So you have to just look at your problems and go, hey, I have to keep on coding, I have to keep on going because this is my responsibility. Curiosity, ask why. Why am I doing this? Why is it doing that? Why am I getting these weird bugs? Yeah, curiosity is actually quite a big thing as well, because like you can think of like an app and be like, oh, why don't we have this app now? Why can't I build this? And you start going to that mindset, and that's quite a big part of it, especially when you start to make games and rethink code. It's one of the big parts of um, the curriculum. Ubuntu, I am because we are. So with this is that you are with your cohort, you are one. Because if you need help, you have to go to them. And if they need help, you have to help them because you're going to be a family at the end of the day. You get like connections that you never knew. You're going to go, hey, my code doesn't work. And someone's going to be like, hey, mine doesn't work either. Let's all work together. We do look out for these type of connections where you're struggling with something and you sit in there and you can't get up, we can't let that person be part of Within Code, unfortunately, because they need to get up and go ask for help and go be part of the community. Responsibility, it's up to you. As I said, you can't have a job. It's 8 hours on campus, and all you have to do is just be there, be present, do your work. It's a free education. You're responsible for your own doings. Next slide. Severe, I present to you.
Thank you, Nicola. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So just to quickly go through something that Within Code has extra, right, to help you guys out when you are applying to Within Code, or even once you are at Within Code, right? So there is a sorry, sorry about that. There is a partner that Within Code partnered with called IBM SkillsBuild. This is a online platform where you can get more information about technology and coding, and just also there to maybe upskill yourself, right? So anything that you're interested in, you can find this on IBM SkillsBuild. So on this website, we've created a pre-application learning path for you guys, right? So this learning path is there just to prepare you for the online assessment that we think Code gives you. Okay. So this learning path will give you all the essentials and skills you need to basically go into the online assessment um, with some preparation, right? So you're not going in blind. Okay. And then we also have a pre-bootcamp learning path. So the pre-bootcamp learning path has a bit of um, Python in there as well. So like learning how to code, there's a few games in between and those things, right? So this is there to help you actually prepare for the bootcamp, right? So this will be once you have completed the online assessment, you've passed, you've booked your bootcamp and all of those things. This is when you'll be able to do the pre-bootcamp learning path. And then besides these two learning plans, right, there are a bunch of other things that is on IBM SkillsBuild, like computer literacy, cybersecurity, data analytics, AI. Um, there's just a bunch of different things, right? And you can even find things that are not tech related, right? So if you're a person that maybe need to work on your communication skills, right, there are things on IBM SkillsBuild that can help you with your communication skills as well. So it's not just tech related things, there's basically anything that you're looking for, right? And as long as you complete all of these learning paths, right, more and more resources will be made available to you. So if you do many of these things, right, and you get a lot of certificates and badges and all of these things, then you can actually put these things on your social media and people can see all these extra things that you're doing, right? So I'm just going to do a quick walkthrough of the website itself. Nicola, is there a link in the chat for them to
Yes.
register if they're not on?
Yes, there are. Oh, I haven't put the registration link, but there are 4 links in the chats, guys.
Cool. So, can you see the IBM screen?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay, cool. So, when you click on any of the links, right, if you haven't yet signed up to IBM Skills World, you will see at the bottom, instead of it saying login over here, right, It will say either login or it will say sign up, right? So if you haven't yet created a profile on IBM SkillsBuild, you can just go to sign up and then you can sign up with Google. If you do have an account, you can also just click here. It will still take you to the IBM SkillsBuild website. And once you do that, you'll just choose the account that you want to log in with or create your account with, right? So if you are new to IBM SkillsBuild and you are creating your account, um, it will ask you for some extra information, right? So it will ask you for your name, your age, and a couple of other things as well. So if you come into the IBM Skills Build website, right, this will be the homepage that you will see. And on this homepage, once you have completed or started a few things, you will see on the homepage, you can actually go and continue some of the learning that you've started, right? So, say for instance, you maybe started with a web development course and you maybe didn't have enough time to finish it and you wanted to start something else again, right? You can actually go back to it at a later time and finish some of those things, okay? And then um, I'm not sure if this is on there. So the pre-application, right? If you are looking for that, if you sign into IBM Skills Build, you're on the website and you go to the search bar at the top and you just search WTC, right? You'll see that there will only one thing that pops up, right? And it will be underneath channels, it will be the We Think Code Training and Development Center. Okay. So once you come in here, you'll see that there's a bunch of different things that we've actually created for you guys to go through, right? So over here, you'll see there is live online tickets, e-learning tickets, skills credentials, right? All of these different things. So the live online ones, right, where it says live online at the top, these are previous workshops that we've done, and the recordings are actually in these activities, right? So if you click on it and you say go to activity, this will actually take you to the um, the recording of that specific workshop, right? So as you can see, we've done loads of different ones. There's data analytics. We actually have live coding workshops that we've done. There's cybersecurity. There's front end fundamentals, right? There's a bunch of different things that you can do. And if you are looking for the bootcamp preparation workshop, not the workshop, the learning plan, right? It will be the first thing on the channel. Okay. So over here, once you've completed your online assessment and all of those things, I'll show you in a few minutes how to actually get the other learning plan. But over here with this one, um, you'll see there's problem solving, there's a guide to professionalism in the workplace, collaboration skills, there's actually learning how to code, right? So there's a bunch of different things in this specific learning plan that will help you through your bootcamp, right? So if you're a person that is maybe shy or you not really an outgoing person, right? You can go through, like, say, for instance, the professionalism in the workplace, and this will show you things that you should maybe try and do or things that you shouldn't do, right, to make yourself come off as a professional, and then also fostering collaboration, right? So these ones are here to help you get over your fears of maybe being a shy person or not wanting to really communicate with others, right? This will give you some tips and tricks that you can use to actually put yourself out there, right? And then if you are looking for the pre-application learning plan, right? You can just go to any browser. Let me just switch my screen. So if you go to any browser, you can just search Within Code, right? And if you go scroll a little bit down, right, you'll be looking for the one that has the Within Code logo on it. If you go into this one, right, it will take you to the Within Code homepage, and then you'll go to enroll, right? So once you are applying at Within Code, right, this is basically the steps that you'll have to follow to apply, right? And if you have a look over here, right, you'll see that these two buttons that you can click on over here. So it's the IBM Skills Build one, which is in yellow, and then the apply here now, right? So the apply here now, that will take you to the online assessment from Within Code, right? This assessment you'll only have an hour to do, and I think either myself or Nicola, I'm not sure who's going to explain that, will actually go into a bit of more detail with the online application for Within Code, right? But before you do that, something that we would advise you do is actually go into the IBM Skills Build one, right? So over here, once you click on that, it will ask you to sign up now, right? So if
Zubair,
you
you
already,
need to change screens.
oh my lord, sorry about that. Is this the last one? No. Can you see the IBM Skills Build and apply here now?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So sorry about that. Um, so this is the button that you'll be looking for, right? So once you've clicked on enroll, is there a question? Um,
I don't think so. Carry on.
okay. So once you click on the IBM Skills Build ticket, right, button, it will take you to the IBM Skills Build website, right? We'll either sign in or sign up depending on if you have an account already or not. And with this one, right at the top, it will actually give you three videos that you can go and watch to actually introduce you to this website itself. So if there is something that you may be looking at doing something specific, right, you can go and watch these videos. This will give you like a brief overview of IBM Skills Build. And then with this also comes like again problem solving, right? So problem solving is a big thing at Within Code. So learning how to solve problems, learning how to think out of the box, critical thinking, all of these things. You can actually do it over here. And then we have also created a practice test for you guys. So this one is similar structure to the Within Code's online assessment, right? All the questions are not exactly the same, right? But it will give you a sense of what you can expect. Okay. So to actually pass this test, you'll need 80% and above, right? And you can do this one as many times as you want. So the difference between this one and the online assessment one from Within Code, the online assessment one, that one you can only do once, right? But the one on IBM Skills, what you can do it as many times as you'd like, and you can actually go in at the top and you can see your progress over here, right? So your score as it's increasing or getting better, right? And then it will also just show you over here when you click on the about. It will show you everything that this test actually has for you, right? So something that we would advise you guys to do when you do start the test, there isn't a timer on it, right? So if you want to simulate the actual test, we would advise maybe starting a certain time. So say if you started at 11, making sure that you don't go over 12, right? So just trying to simulate also how you would be writing the online assessment because that one actually has a timer on it, right? And it doesn't matter if you click the submit button or not. Once the hour elapses, it will submit itself. Okay. So before you start, it will actually show you everything that you need, right? So for this one, there is 24 hours for you to complete it, right? So we've done this because if you don't understand something, right, you can always go back to the learning plan and then do some of the work again, right? So if you maybe went through something here in this learning plan and you went and wrote the test and you remember you saw something somewhere that can actually help you to solve one of the problems, right? You can come back into the learning plan and then continue from there. Um, Also, if you have any other questions after you've completed the quiz, or you maybe just want something extra added in, right? Something that you maybe picked up on, you can add it as a review over here, and then we'll always be checking the comments over here to make sure that all you guys' questions are answered. You guys understand everything, right? So if you're struggling with anything, you can put it in over there as well. Um, yeah, I think that is it.
Show them the mark complete, please, and the certificates.
Oh yes, sorry guys. Um, Nicola, which mark is complete are we using?
The pre-application one. It's in the chat if you want to go look for it.
Um, okay, it's fine. I'll just use anyone for now. Um,
But there
so
it is. There it is. It's right at the bottom. Right at the bottom to the right.
there we go. So the mark is complete that Nicola is talking about, right? This is just for us to get a better understanding of who all joined us today. And also, there is a recording from one of our previous workshops that we've done over here. So if there is something that you missed, maybe you came a bit later into the workshop and you maybe missed a few things, right? You can go to this activity and it will actually take you to one of our previous recordings that we've done previously for the pre-application workshop, right? So if you click on mark as complete, right, it will ask you how many hours and minutes and all of these things. What you can do is just submit it for now, right? And once this is complete, you'll actually be able to get a certificate, right? So this is in regards to everything that you've completed on IBM SkillsBuild, whether it's a learning plan, a small activity, right? Everything that is on IBM SkillsBuild, once it is complete, you'll be able to get a certificate, right? And the certificate will have exactly the title of whatever it is you've completed, right? And it will have your name on there as well, how many hours you spent on this specific learning plan, and it will also show the date which you
Zubair, you're breaking up with that. Okay, let me take over from there.
completed this activity or learning plan, right? And Instagram, Facebook. Just 1 second. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Um, okay. Um, was there anything else that I had to still show from the IBM Skills Build side? I think that was it.
Yeah, I think that's all good.
Um, can I get a thumbs up if you guys can still hear me? Okay, cool. So I'm gonna hand it now back to Nicola, who will be giving you just like a quick roadmap of how the program will actually look, right? So your 16 months that we can code. Let me just change my screen.
Okay, yeah. So applications open in May, and that's when you can do your online application. When they do come out, give yourself a moment, go do the test again, and then go into the pre-application, the app online assessment. That's what it is. Because it's a little bit tougher than most people think because it's just brain work. It's no coding or anything like that. It's just like what problem solving do I have? So that is applications and selection, which will be boot camps. We'll be able to explain that later. Then the 16-month course starts. We only have one course at We Think Code, which is software engineering. And there you'll branch from Python, Java, web development, and then you'll do something called an elective. And then you'll be placed into a workplace environment for your internship, which is normally 4 months, and then you'll graduate and get permanent employment. So, as I say, this is all on you. We think code gets you the interviews. You have to be the one that goes and gets the job at the end of the day. So please be like very strict with yourselves with the training and learn the work and everything, because you don't want to be the person who's like copying for a friend and then the friend gets placed and you don't and you're wondering why. We do not take cheaters. It's very it's very strict in that way. But it's a fun 16 months with people that you've never thought you would talk to. And then the work placement, you can sometimes place with the same people. And yeah, so May is when the applications will be opening. The curriculum, please, Bear. Do you want to ask a question?
Hi, I'm Kulego. I came late.
Okay.
So last day I tried to apply, and then there was a test. If I'm not mistaken, there was a test that after you apply, then there was a test. If you fail the test, and then you weren't able to continue with the program.
Yeah.
So can I reapply again so that I can join the program?
Yes. Yes, you can. That's the thing. You can reapply. Just remember, this is why we're doing the pre-application for you guys, because you don't want to fail that one the test. You only have an hour to do. It's once off. So this is why we're doing this to get you guys prepared. So of course you can reapply.
Okay, I came late to the to the Zoom. So can you please send a link via chat so that
So
I
the
can go to
application, so the
yes
application
to
open
sign
yet.
up or to apply?
Okay. The applications aren't open yet. This is for pre-application, so you can get ready. So let me just carry on. Zubair's going to explain everything after the slide. So you are going to get an NQF6 software engineering. So the first part of your year fundamentals is Python and teamwork and communication and going to help your friends and just being a good person in the community. I mean, I was 30 when I joined. I learned from a 20-year-old. It was quite a nerve-wracking thing. So don't ever think that age is but a number. That is what they're saying. And then you'll go on to orientation, which is Java, which is and we think code, they love to push it, but as long as you have those foundations of Python, you can learn actually any language very easily. Your second year is brownfields. Brownfield development is getting a piece of code that's broken, but you have to fix it without changing the code that you have, and you have to modify it. Systems is web development. Very simple. I'm sure like most of you will get the hang of it. And electives are app development, systems integration, blockchain, data analytics. You go off into like they'll not what you're going to specialize in, but what you get a taste of the environment that you can work in. I mean, even cloud is part of it as well. So that's a really fun thing to do just before you go off into your work placement because you get a taste of the industry and what they want and etc. And we give you that training. And then the 4 months work placement and then graduation. Zubair, this is you.
Yeah. So um, right now I'm just going to go through the step-by-step processes that you'll basically have to follow, right, to get into Within Code and then up until you actually doing work at Within Code. So the first thing is basically doing the online assessment, right? So the online assessment is a 1 hour long test that you're going to be doing that is going to be testing your cognitive ability, right? Which is your critical thinking, problem solving, and analytical thinking, right? This test you can only do once, right? Once you've completed this test, if you passed it, you'll be able to book a bootcamp. If you failed it, you'll have to wait until the next year to apply again, right? So you can only apply once a year, right, for a bootcamp, or you can only do the online assessment once, right? So if you've done it this year, then you'll have to wait next year again if you don't get in, right? So this online assessment is how we actually test to see if you will actually succeed in our program, right? Um, where was it now? Yeah, so you don't need anything to actually do this online assessment, right? So what do I mean by you don't need anything? So you don't need a laptop to do it. You can actually do the online assessment on your phone, right? You don't need to have your matric to actually do it. It's basically just testing your cognitive ability, right? And then all you need to do to prepare for the test is basically go through um, the practice test on IBM SkillsBuild. And then before you start your test, make sure that you have data or good connectivity or Wi-Fi, right? And then also, nobody likes this load shedding thing. So make sure that you actually check the sorry, load shedding schedule, um, to make sure that you're not actually busy with your test halfway through and then the lights goes out, right? So just by doing all of these things, you can actually make sure that when you do start the online assessment, you are well prepared, right? And then step two, once you've completed the online assessment, will be the selection bootcamp, right? So the bootcamp is a 6-day on-campus bootcamp test, right? Which is going to be testing your learning abilities, right? And then also testing like you on the basic coding concepts, right? So we don't expect you to know any coding, right? Everything will be taught to you by some of our students that already completed the bootcamp and are now busy with Java and actually doing proper code, right? So they will teach you the basics of Python and then also just team collaboration, right? So these mentors are people that, like I've said, are second years at Within Code. So they have completed Python, they have mastered it, so they will be able to help you with anything that along with your 6 days on the bootcamp, right? And then they will also be there to make sure that you are collaborating with other people. And then also they are just there to support you, right? Whether it's with getting over your fears of talking to other people, whether it's struggling with the bootcamp, um, the coding concepts, or any of those things, right? They are there to support you. So you're not going into the bootcamp alone. There are people there to actually help you out, right? And then to prepare for the bootcamp, also, again, there is a learning plan that we've created on IBM SkillsBuild. Um, This plan again will help you to just get started with the basics of Python, right? And then also arrive on time, right? So you will have to be on the campus every day, right? And if you are not going to be there that day, you will have to communicate either with the mentor that was um, assigned to you or to Within Code itself. So like I'm saying now, right, it is an on-campus bootcamp, so we don't have any online bootcamps, right? And then also, right, the bookings will be like first come, first serve. So depending on when you do your online assessment, that is when you'll be able to book your bootcamp, right? So when you do see that the online assessment is now open, you can actually start applying to Within Code. You don't need to rush into it, right? The bootcamps do last for a couple of months, and most people that actually do the online assessment will get the opportunity to come to one of our boot camps. That is if you actually pass the online assessment, right? Before I go on, is there any questions on the pre-application, or sorry, not the pre-application, the online assessment or the boot camp? Can I get a thumbs up if you guys can still hear me? Okay, cool. I must need to pass the assessment. Um, so the online assessment, there isn't a exact mark given to us, right? So all they tell us is basically just try to do your best, right? But try to aim for above 80% or 70% actually for the online assessment, right? So with the online assessment, there's a bunch of different things that it's testing you on, right? So the official mark, um, it doesn't just look at one thing, right? So if you guys are interested, try to just get through as much as possible. Like I'm saying now, it is a cognitive thing. So it's testing your problem solving abilities, right? So try to play a lot of games that basically helps you with problem solving, right? So if you're maybe playing Sudoku or like just trying to figure out like pattern games, right? These things will actually help you out. Um, do you office name? Okay, this type of thing we'll get to that later on. Um, Tabiso, do you have a question? You can unmute yourself.
Hi, Zubair.
Right?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hi, I wanted to ask regarding the selection boot camps. Um, is Durban campus still a viable option?
No, so unfortunately, we don't have a campus any longer in Durban. So if you are interested, you'll have to relocate to either Johannesburg or Cape Town for the boot camps. I hope that answered your question.
Thank
Um,
you.
and then the next question, after writing the online test, how long should you? So once you've completed your online test, right, you should be getting an email back within a day or two, right? And once you get this, there should be a link to actually book a boot camp, right? So it isn't that long that you'll be waiting for your results. So yeah, just 1 or 2 days after you actually complete your online assessment. But anyway, I think it's okay. Before I answer the rest of the questions, I'm just going to go through the rest of the slides so that we're actually finishing on time. Um, so we'll get back to the questions later on. So once you've actually completed your boot camp, right? This is when you'll actually find out whether you're getting into within code or not, right? So those of you that are maybe missing one or two small things about your boot camp, right, that we feel um, we're not really that interested in, right? So you've done everything that you needed to do. Your marks are good. You've communicated well, but there's just one or two things that maybe your mentor picked up on that they let We Think Code know about, right? So this is when you'll be doing a interview, right? So it's a 30-minute video with the We Think Code team members, right? So we'll just be checking again your technical comprehension against bootcamp performance, and then also checking your ability to work in a peer-to-peer learning environment, right? So say for instance, you worked well with others, you did everything that We Think Code asked of you during the bootcamp, your marks was good, all of those things, right? But maybe your mentor feels like you're not really a good fit for We Think Code, right? But everything on paper that is about you is saying that you are a good fit, right? This is when we'll do a interview with you guys, right? So this step is an optional step that We Think Code has in the recruitment process, right? So not everybody will get an interview, right? So if you do really well in the bootcamp, you won't be getting an interview. If you get a good review from your mentor, right, you won't be really getting an interview. Sometimes you will still get the interview in between just so that We Think Code can get some more analytics and data off from how a certain bootcamp went, right? to make sure that everything is aligned, all the data is aligned, right? And then also just to make it a fair process for everybody to actually get into within code, right? And then also for those of you that do get the interview, this will be your last opportunity to actually showcase why you should actually get into within code, right? So if you do get this interview, try to put as much as possible into that video about yourself and answer as much of the questions that they actually ask you, okay? And then once you actually get into within code, the first week will be your enrollment, right? So it's registration, so it's your identity verification, your personal documentation. There'll also be a criminal background check, and then the signing of your contract, and then submitting it, right? So that will be within the first 2 days of you actually starting at within code. And then also in that first week will be induction, right? So the induction will be online, right? So it is basically each head of each department will be speaking about specific things that they actually do at within code, right? So it's introduction to the within code team. So we have a placements team, we have a sourcing team, we have a performance team. There's a bunch of different departments at within code, and you will be introduced to all of these different departments, because when something does happen at within code, you will have to know exactly which department to go to for help, right? And then we'll also be doing a curriculum outline. So this will be basically going through everything that you will need to do during the 16 months at within code. And then also campus operations, right? So how things actually work on the campus. So we have some student jobs as well on within at within code. So we have like front desk duty, um, there's marketing, there's a bunch of different things that you can actually do at within code along with your studies, right? And then there's also just understanding the code of conduct and contractual obligations, right? And then after that, it will be your onboarding, right? So within code has a learning management system. So this is there to ensure that all the assessments, all the quizzes, everything that you need to do is provided to you, right? And then this will also help us track where you are, right? And actually get your marks, your coders, your coding projects, all of those things, right? And then also onboarding you to this platform. So with the stipends, right? I know there was a question in the chat about this. So stipends are given out depending on your needs, right? And then also the availability of funding. So when you get into within code, you will be able to apply for a stipend, right? We cannot tell you how much the stipend will be, because it, like I'm saying now, it depends on the needs of the specific person, and then also the availability of funding, right? So with each student that gets sponsored, there is a certain amount that will maybe come to within code that within code can use as a stipend for you, right? So depending on that amount, that is how much you maybe get for a stipend, right? So it does vary between person to person. And then, yeah, Nicola, back to you.
Okay, guys, can you all hear me now?
Yeah, I can
Okay.
hear you.
So, any questions? Anywhere you got lost, we're here to answer for you as we are past students. Let us know what you think. The floor is open.
I think there was one question. I'm just seeing now my chats keep jumping around. So I'm only seeing this question now. And I lost it again. Uh,
Oh, after how did you answer the test is online test is immediate results?
yeah, so sometimes it won't be immediate. So it will take like sometimes 1 to 2 days for you to actually get a response on that. Oh, is it? I'm very new here. How can I get started and also learn on my own? So if you do want to get started, and you want to actually go through some of the work on your own, you can go to IBM SkillsBuild, right? And then just search WTC in the search bar, right? This will take you to the channel that we've created. And like I said before, anything that you are looking for, right? You can actually get started over there. So on IBM SkillsBuild, it won't teach you how to actually do coding, right? It will give you like the science behind it. And then from there, you will have enough knowledge to actually go through and learn whatever you need to learn further, right? So it will give you the syntax behind everything so that you know what everything actually means when you start coding, right? So to get started, um, just going through the syntax, you can even use like W3 schools. There's the other website called Cody, CODDY. So this website is there. It actually goes through some of the basics of coding. So if you are interested, you can go through some of these things. Um, yeah. Was there any other questions? Um, I'm not seeing any more questions.
Oh, so the practice test is very basic problem solving, but the assessment has a few other questions in it. Nothing too scary. It's like if Jack had four apples and this person had three, like how many apples would they have together? So it's just things like that in the test. So don't stress. There's no coding in the assessment.
Yeah. Free certification. Um, so the certification that you get with IBM, right? It's not like how do I say? It's not a qualification that you're getting, right? It's just to show what extra skills you've gotten. So you can't actually go into a workplace and be like you a web developer or any of those things because you've done work on IBM SkillsBuild, right? This is just there to upskill yourself and then also just to get some extra information. So the things that you get on IBM Skills Build, it's not a qualification that you get, right? It's just a certification. And yes, it is a free certificate that you get. You don't have to pay for any of the things on IBM Skills Build. Um, okay, how to actually put it for. Okay, so you put the link there. Is the bootcamp only be on campus only? Yes, so the bootcamp is only on campus, right? We don't have a online bootcamp. Everything that you're going to be doing at We Think Code is on campus. So even the 16 months that we'll be doing, right? There isn't a online version for that. So everything is on campus. And the reason for this is we don't just offer coding, right? It's also teaching you how to prepare yourself for the workplace, right? So you will be doing group work, you'll be doing presentations, all of these different things, right? And to do this, you'll actually have to be on campus so that we can make sure that you are actually joining meetings, you are doing presentations, you helping other people, you asking questions, all of these things, right? Because when you do come into a workplace, things won't be handed to you, right? You'll actually have to go out and do research and try to get the knowledge on your own. So at We Think Code, there are resources made available for you to actually learn, right? But there are some things that will maybe seem like we're not giving you all of the information, right? But the information is there. You'll just have to go and look for it, right? So this is basically just preparing you to make sure that you are prepared and well equipped for when you do come out in a workplace and you're not shocked when you do start working. Um, how do I, ooh.
think that's
Okay.
everything.
Yeah, I think that is it. So, yeah, thank you guys for joining today's workshop. If you do have any more questions, right, you can email us, and then I'll just put the email quickly in the chat.
They got our email when we emailed them.
Um, can I just get a thumbs up if you guys actually all joined through the email? Okay, cool. Oh yes, before we actually knock off, there is something that I wanted to let you guys know about. So if you are interested in joining any of our webinars in the future, right? We are starting something new right now where we're actually trying to get you guys to sign up on WhatsApp, right? So we know there are a lot of you that maybe don't really check your emails every day, right? And it could be something that is a little bit hard for you to get through, right? So WhatsApp is something that is on your phone, right? You'll be able to see it immediately once you do something, right? So if you go to, let me just share my screen again quickly. If you go to the We Think Code website, go back, right? On the website, you'll see right at the top, there is a WhatsApp logo, right? If you click on this logo, it will actually take you to WhatsApp, and you'll be able to sign up to our webinars on WhatsApp, right? Um, some of our future workshops is not yet loaded on the WhatsApp chatbot. Hopefully by the end of this week, we'll have all of our updated workshops on there, right? If you are on your phone, right, this logo won't show up at the top. So you'll have to scroll to the bottom and then just click on the QR code at the bottom, and then you'll be able to actually get into the WhatsApp. So yeah, I think that is it now. Yeah.
Thank you so
Cool.
much for joining, guys. Hope to see you soon. Good luck with your assessments when they do come out. And since we do have your emails, we will email you the link to the assessment. I would like to just point out, do not rush into it. Always go do the practice test beforehand. Yeah, it's a really great environment. Everyone's so sweet and kind. You make a lot of friends. Oh, I was put on the waiting list. It's not a big deal. It just means that like they want to know what you learned at the boot camp and what you will what we will give back to the community. So don't ever stress if you're put on the waiting list. It's just they want to see who you are because you have mentors, which are students, but the staff actually want to get to know you. A waiting list is after boot camp. Oh, sorry. Um, some students will get directly in, others will have to go on a waiting list, and the waiting list is just the staff getting to know you. Don't ever stress about getting put on a waiting list, please.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Thanks, guys. See you guys soon.
See you guys